The creation scroll is a Wigum-Wasbach birch bark scroll on which the Ojibwe, Anishinaabe people of the North America wrote with as a written language composed of complex geometrical patterns and shapes. They revere the land as the provider of the most versatile materials that became a staple for the Ojibwe people. The birch bark, often described as the tree of life, for the indigenous people shared a relationship that is rooted with the connection with the season, as it provided so many things from nature, from fast-burning wood to waterproof boat-making materials, using canoes to traverse the lake. During the 20th century, archaeology has confirmed that Native Americans have been using birch bark scrolls for over 4,000 years. In 1965, the archaeologist Kenneth Kidd reported on 2 finds of trimmed and fashioned pieces of birch bark, on which have been etched figures of animals, birds, men, legends of creatures, and esoteric symbols. Some of these resembled scrolls used by the Mid Society of Ojibwe. Kidd concluded these finds of birch bark scrolls and associated artifacts indicate that Indians of this region occasionally position such artifacts in out-of-way places, either by burying them or by secretly hiding them in caves. Birchwood scrolls use Anishinaabe syllabics, geometrics, symbols, and patterns to carry culture and history, including migration stories, on to the next generation. The Ojibwe collection is from the Ojibwe, or the Chippewa, were an American native tribe with a rich history and vibrant culture. The Ojibwe people also share the creation story, and it reads as follows. Long ago, after the Creator placed humans on the earth, the Anishinaabe, or the original people, strayed from their peaceful ways. They began to fight and argue with one another. Brother turned against brother, and soon the Anishinaabe were killing one another for more hunting grounds and other things. Seeing that harmony and respect for all living things no longer existed on earth, the Creator decided to purify the earth. He did this with water. The water came in the form of the Great Flood. The water fell upon the earth and killed the Anishinaabe people, and most of the animals as well. Only Nanabush, the central figure in the many Anishinaabe oral traditions, was able to survive the flood, along with a few animals and birds whom had managed to swim and fly. Anabush floated on a huge log, searching for land. No land was found, because the earth was now covered with the great flood. Anubis allowed the remaining animals and birds to take turns resting on the log as well. Finally, Anubis spoke. "I am going to do something. I am going to swim to the bottom of the water and grab a handful of earth. With this small bit of earth, I believe we can create a new land to live on, with the help of the 4 winds and the Creator." So Anubis dove into the water and was gone for a long time. Finally, he surfaced and told the animals that the water was too deep for him to swim to the bottom. All were silent. The loon spoke up. "I can dive under the water for a long way. That is how I catch my food. I will try to make it to the bottom and return with the earth in my beak." The loon was gone for a long time. Surely, thought the others, the loon must have drowned. Then they saw him float to the surface, weak and nearly unconscious. "I couldn't make it. There must be no bottom to this water," he gasped. Then the hem diver came forward and said, "I will try next. Everyone knows I dive great distances." So the hell diver went under. Again, a very long time passed, and the others thought that he had surely drowned. At last, he floated to the surface and was unconscious, and not till he came through could he relate to the others that he too was unable to fetch the earth from the bottom. Many more animals tried, but failed. Even the turtle, all failed. It seemed as though there was no way to get the much-needed earth from the bottom. Then a soft, muffled voice was heard. "I can do it," it spoke softly. At first, none could see who it was that spoke up. Then a little muskrat stepped forward. "I'll try," he repeated. Some of the other bigger, more powerful animals laughed at the muskrat. Another animal spoke up. If the muskrat wants to try, he should be allowed to. So the muskrat dove into the water. He was gone much longer than the others, for he tried to reach the bottom. After a while, Anubis and the other animals were certain the muskrat had given his life trying to reach the bottom. Below the water's surface, the muskrat had in fact reached. Very weak from a lack of air, he grabbed some earth in his paw. With all the energy he could muster, he began to swim for the surface. One of the animals spotted the muskrat as he floated to the surface. Anubis pulled him onto the log. "Brothers and sisters," Anubis said, "Muskrat went too long without air, and now he is dead." A song of mourning and praise was heard across the water as the muskrat spirit passed on to the spirit world. Suddenly, Anubis exclaimed, "Look, there is something in his paw." Anubis carefully opened the tiny paw. All the animals gathered closely to see what was held so tightly there. Muskrat paw opened, revealed a small ball of earth. The animals all shouted with joy. Muskrat sacrificed his life so that earth could begin anew. Anubis took the piece of earth from the muskrat's paw. Just then, the turtle swam forward and said, "Use my back to bear the weight of the piece of the earth. With the help of the Creator, we can make a new earth." Anubis put the piece of earth on the turtle's back. Suddenly, the wind blew from each of the 4 directions. The tiny piece of earth on the turtle's back began to grow. It grew and grew and grew until it formed an island in the water. The island grew larger and larger, but still the turtle bore the weight of the earth on its back. Anubis and the animals all sang and danced in the widened circle of the growing island. After a while, the 4 winds ceased to blow, and the waters became still. A huge island sat in the middle of the water, and today that island is known as North America. The Ojibwe hold special reverence for the turtle who sacrificed his life and made life possible for the earth's second people. To this day, the muskrat has been given the good life. No matter that the marshes have been drained and their homes destroyed, in the name of progress, the muskrat continues to survive and multiply. The muskrat do their part today in remembrance of the great flood. They build their homes in the shape of the little balls of earth in the island that was formed from it. The creation story of the Dakota people. Even the seasons form in a great circle. Change will always come back again to where they were. The earth provides all things we need for life. So we, the Dakota people, are powerfully connected to this natural world and bond with the landscape as it manifests stories of creation. There are different stories of the earth, water, and the sky. When the earth was created, when Mother Earth was just a rock, She was chosen to hold life. The moon, the planets, the stars, and the suns agreed to help her with her task. We, the Dakota people, are called star people. We come from the stars in Orion's belt. Long ago, our spirits came from the Creator down in the spirit world. Wanandi and Choco, known by many as the Milky Way. We came to the earth where the Minnesota and the Mississippi River became one. When the earth was young, there was water everywhere. No land was to be seen. In the beginning, water covered the earth. The next story is of water. The great spirit Katanka decided it was time to make a new world. First, the loon dove deep in the dark water, but it was unable to reach the bottom. The otter had tried, but even with its strong webbed feet, it too failed to reach the bottom. Next, the beaver used his large flat tail to propel itself deep beneath the water, but it too failed. Finally, the Kantuk encouraged the turtle to bring back some mud. But the turtle stayed underwater so long that everyone was sure it had surely drowned. Then, with a splash, the turtle appeared. Mud filled its feet and claws and in the cracks of its shell. The now singing Kantanka shaped the mud in his hands and spread it in the water, making the dry land to overcome the water. Kantanka then cried tears that became oceans, streams, and lakes. Wakantanka took many birds and animals from the great wide bank and spread them across the earth. The final story is of Mother Earth. One day, Mother Earth noticed that the creator Wakantanka looked sad. She asked, "Why do I see tears falling?" Wakantanka replied, "I have many children, and they're all beautiful, but I want a new child who speaks to me and calls me by my name." Wakantanka wanted the creature to love him. When Mother Earth heard this, she wanted to take a piece of herself to create a being. She called on the waters to help her. She instructed them to carve into her flesh. And then she called on the help of the winds in the 4 directions. "Blow into my body." And then the winds agreed. They blew a gush into her, exposing the red clay of her body. She called to Wakatanka, "Reach into my body and make a body into the image of yourself." This was the creation of the first human being. Mother Earth told Wakakanta, "You will recognize your children. They will be as red as the day. They will call to you, give thanks unto you, and share with your voice." Wakakanta put everything in his 2-legged children. He gave them love and the ability to communicate with that love. They have a special voice that Wakakanta wanted to hear.